Now let's move on to workers' compensation. And we'll start with premium. So here's the $40.1 billion of private carrier net written premium, and you can see how it compares to the long-term history. If you look back at 2005, that was the pre-recession peak for the countrywide number. Private carriers that year wrote $37.8 billion of net written premium. If you follow the bars along, you can see that net written premium declined during the Great Recession, and then it grew throughout the recovery. Now, if we add in state funds, countrywide net written premium is $45.5 billion. That's no change. And in total, we've yet to exceed our pre-recession peak. So what's going on here? Well, there are a couple of things. First, in statutory accounting, offshore cessions serve to reduce net written premium. And we're using statutory accounting here. And this is the second year that we've seen material increases in offshore cessions. Now, this is looking at countrywide direct written premium. Before, we were looking at net written premium. Direct written premium increased by 2.4% in 2016. And you can see, like I said, there's considerable variation across states. Now, Utah is dark green, and that represents a significant increase, but it really should have an asterisk beside it, because Utah converted from being a state fund in 2015 to being a private carrier in 2016. So it wasn't in our numbers last year, and that's just making Utah look like they had more premium growth than they really did. New York is another state that's had higher than average premium growth. That's partly due to the increase in loss costs that they've seen there, and also because risks are moving out of the state fund and into the private carrier market. On the other hand, look at West Virginia. It's been falling since back in 2005 when they converted from being a monopolistic state fund. Now, looking at a geographical map like this, sometimes the colors can be misleading. States with a large geographical area may not be heavily populated, and as a result, they might have a very small impact on the countrywide average. To create a better perspective, we can change the size of the state so that it no longer represents the geographical area. And instead, it now represents the volume of premium in that state. So for example, California is now larger than Texas because California has more than $11 billion of private carrier direct written premium, and Texas has less than $2 billion. Now, if we overlay the color gradient, it's easier to see that there's more green, and that's leading to a countrywide increase of about 2.4%. It's also easier to see which states are the major drivers. We already talked about New York and the increase there, but California also grew at a faster pace than the countrywide average. Declining rates in California have been more than offset by payroll growth, as the economy out there has been pretty healthy with higher than average wage inflation. Now, a few jurisdictions are bright red, like West Virginia and DC, but their size is so small that they're not having a large impact on the countrywide average. Now, while countrywide direct written premium increased, at the top you can see direct written premium for NCCI states remained flat, no change. And that makes sense when you think back to the last slide. The states that I pointed out as having higher than average premium growth were not NCCI states. Now, we have the detail underlying our states, so we can identify the components that's driving the premium change, and that's what we've done here. The largest driver was once again payroll growth, with an increase of about 4%. Change in loss costs and mix suppressed direct written premium growth by about 2.7%. Carriers provided deeper discounts in 2016, and that slowed premium growth. I mentioned that the Utah State Fund became a private carrier, and that boosted premium growth by about 1%. And then if you include miscellaneous other factors, that gets us to no change in direct written premium.